Hey you all, I hope you are having a good evening so far. Thank you so much for watching. For those who are watching the replay, please like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like this video helps you any, which I hope it does. So pretty much I wanted to come on and explain about who I am and a little bit about my journey. My name is Aisha. So I'm 28 years old, and in 2014 I started my weight loss journey. And I want to say started because it never really ended. Like it never had a point where that was it. And that's the first thing I learned is that when you go on a weight loss journey, it isn't something where you just stop because you've lost weight. Because at a point, I stopped and I gained weight right back. So the first thing to know is that in weight loss, it never really ends. It's a constant uphill battle. Not that it's bad or anything. There are good days, there are bad days, but it pretty much doesn't stop. When I first started, it wasn't well, it was a few first times I started. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but this particular time when I went on my weight loss journey, I was telling everyone, I'm, buckling down now. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to start eating right. And of course, people looked at me like, yeah, okay, you said this before. And that, first of all, shattered me a little bit because I was expecting for my friends to be a little bit more uplifting about it. I was expecting for my family to be a little bit more supportive about it. And really, everybody was kind of nonchalant, didn't really care for it much. So, one thing I did learn was that when you are going on your weight loss journey, as much, they talk about speak it into existence, I definitely believe in that, talk about it, but be very careful about who you talk to about it. And you don't always need to speak to anyone about it. The main person is just that you talk to yourself about it. And that's one thing I wish I did know was how to speak to myself, how much I needed to talk to myself in order to even keep myself going, because that's who is the most important part of this whole thing is yourself. So it's very important that you speak to yourself first of all in the most kindest way, the way you would speak to a loving friend. When you find yourself in that um, dark place of not feeling good about yourself at all, understand that it's not anything that is wrong with you. It is not meaning that you're falling off and that you should stop. You should never stop. You should always keep going, even if you have to pull back a little bit, because there are times where you need to pull back. But understand you have to be the kindest person to yourself. So I learned how kind I really needed to be to myself. Before this, I was very hard on myself. I'm a Leo and we are very aggressive at times. So, one thing that I did learn was how gentle you have to be with yourself. You definitely have to be gentle with yourself the way you're talking to yourself. So, really take a mental check when you find yourself in a hard spot. Say, I love you. You are doing great. I really am so proud of who you are. Just you to you. Let yourself know that the same things that you are looking to hear from your friends and your family and those around you, those same words that you are expecting to hear from them, you have to be the one to say that to yourself, okay? Another thing is that you're going to have to go through many tries. It's not going to be like something that worked for someone else that's going to work from you. They're going to look like everyone else has the right formula. Everyone else has found that groove where they can just, allow the pounds to roll off. You have to understand that in your journey, you are looking for what works for you. You have to try different things to be able to find that. You have to go through a few trial and errors. You have to go through a few fails in order to get through that success. But those failures are helping you to learn. So one thing is definitely you're not doing anything wrong by gaining a few pounds here and there, by stopping sometimes, by, falling off, whatever. You're just trying to find what works for you. So try to develop a mindset of learning what can work for you, trying to find that solution, because one thing is happens that we try something and if it doesn't work, we say nothing works. Like whether it's Weight Watchers, whether it's Slim Fast, whether it's Nutrisystem, going to the gym, working with a coach, working with a trainer, those are all a part of learning what may work for you. I know from 2014 to now, there's so many things I had to do. There's so many. I started with going to classes, doing workout classes, which were great. It was really great at the time because I was 23, living in a body that I could not do much with, literally. Like, I weighed over 250 pounds, and I'm in a class with women who were middle age, 60, 70 years old, have a few kids, women of all different backgrounds, and they were getting it. And here I am, single, no kids, 23, and I'm barely making it 15 minutes into the class. That just had me want to remain more focused to get through that. Of course, after a while, that got boring to me. I had to try something new because I wasn't making it to the classes anymore, because I wasn't excited for it anymore. I wasn't um, thrilled about it basically. I was tired of it after a while. So I went to doing different weightlifting techniques, learning different workouts for that, and sticking to it for a while until, I wanted to even bump that up because that got hard at a certain point. I started hurting myself, so I had to get a trainer. I worked with a coach for a little while, and even though I did see major results, I realized that the coach I had, she really didn't relate to me. She was always skinny, so when I would have certain weeks where, I would just binge eat the entire week, she'll look at me like, well, you didn't lose this weight because you wanted to eat macaroni and cheese. And she just did not understand the comfort I had with eating. She didn't understand that because she never had that problem herself, which is what kind of pushed me to do weight loss coaching in order to connect with my clients more, to have them feel more comfortable and understand that this journey is a journey, and that everything that you go through, you're allowed to, and you don't have to feel bad for it. So another thing I learned is that you have to understand, you're through this, you are learning what works for you, and what works for someone may not work for you. It may work for you better than somebody else. You may find something or reinvent something that totally works for you and may not work for someone else, so you're constantly finding something to change, because once you get used to something, you can also fall off and be like, okay, that is boring, so much boring for me right now. I can't even go further with that, okay? Weight loss also, it's so hard, but it shows you who is really down for you. I have lost friends because of this. I'm not even gonna lie to you. People start to see you change up, and yes, you're going to change because you are not going to be that same person you are now. You're going to be a more person that is a little bit more selfish. You're definitely becoming more selfish because you have to focus solely on yourself through this. You really have to put a lot of work into yourself. So you may have to cut a few people off. You're going to have to turn down a few nights of hanging out, especially if you want to be able to wake up refreshed the next day to get your workout in. And sometimes working out in the morning feels so much better than hanging out all night. To be able to do that, because now you're able to carry out a good day. What you do in the morning sets out the tone for the rest of the day. So if you're able to wake up early and get in a workout and feel refreshed for the rest of the day, of course you're going to take that over hanging out the night before and getting drunk, whatever it is you do, and not being able to wake up early. So you're not going to be that same person, and people aren't always going to understand that about you. And it's hard sometimes, but I'm here to give you that heads up to know that everyone isn't going to stick around with you as much as you may think that they will, just because you are really becoming a new person. You are seeing things different. They may not be there yet. You, of course, would wish them the best and hope that they are there, but some people you will have to let go. Some people will be flat out jealous. Some people will be flat out jealous and wonder why you are able to do it and they aren't able to do it, Because there are those people who want to see you do good, but just not better than them. And I learned that the hard way. A few people, even family members, who are like, I think you should stop losing weight now. I don't think you should get any smaller. And it wasn't so much about losing weight as much as it was, I was just trying to live a healthier lifestyle. And yes, losing weight came with it, but seeing as somebody would tell me to stop living a healthy lifestyle all for a look showed me how much they really cared about me. Did they really care, or did they just, for the good of it? And I was always the big girl. I was always the big girl in the group. So when I started to become a little smaller, I realized how people's attitudes shifted towards me. I realized how people looked at me different because I was no longer the big girl in the group, or I wasn't being the big girl in the group. And not even that that's a bad thing, because to be honest, I never so much lost weight to look better. I never really had a problem with the way I looked because I already became so comfortable with the way I looked. I knew nothing else but being overweight, so I couldn't say, oh, if I lose weight, I'll look better. Honestly, I was scared about the way I would look because I didn't know how my body would change. You know, that can be very scary. And that's another thing I learned, is that you have to keep an open mind to how your body is going to change. It'll always change for the better, but it's really about the mentality, because there was a time where I lost a lot of weight and I still thought I was fat. And it was really just a mindset of mine. So while working on your weight loss, I would highly suggest that you get into personal development, get into learning about self-love, because self-love is such a major part, so that you can love yourself in any part of your journey. You can love yourself if you fall off. You can love yourself if you binge eat a little bit. You will love yourself more once you see the consistency. But it's so important to work on your mindset at the same time, because your mindset can still hold you up. I was at a point where, like I said, I had already lost so much weight. You know, I could look back at these pictures and I realized that in those days, I still felt fat. I still didn't feel comfortable with myself. Where now I gain weight back and I'm loving it. I'm literally loving the fact that I even gained more weight, because I felt like I lost so much weight at one point. But in that time, I felt like I still had so much further to go, because I didn't have steel abs, or, you know, I didn't have cut arms the way I thought I would. And it just takes a lot of working on your mentality as you are working on your physical. You know, and a major thing I did learn also was how to use my money. People forget, or people tend not to talk about the money that is invested in weight loss. And it is not so much that I spent a lot of money, because I never really had a lot of money. It's just the way I had to spend my money. You know, where at first it looked like I was spending so much money on this, but when I broke it down and thought about it in hindsight, I actually saved a lot of money. Like, yeah, we hear it. You save money by going grocery shopping, but sometimes it may not seem that way when it's easy to buy a burger for 99 cents and a salad is like 9.99. You know what I mean? So, one thing I did learn is how to use my money differently in order to invest better, because when you are on a weight loss journey, you have to invest in yourself a little bit differently from when you are. So, them turn up nights, you spending money hanging out or spending money just buying food on the fly, now you are using that money a little bit different, so you could buy groceries at one time and have it spread for the whole week. You know, you could plan out your meals for the week and realize that you're actually saving money, because as a coach now, and when I tell people certain prices, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't spend that. Yes, you can. You just have to learn how to use your money different. So I definitely learned how to use my money differently than I was prior to losing weight, because I wasn't just blindly going up to the counter ordering food. Now I'm writing out a shopping list and planning what I should buy depending on whether it was sales I was shopping around, certain stores I was shopping in, certain things I was shopping for. I was now using my money a little bit different. So it's not that you are spending more money when it comes to working on your weight loss journey, but it's definitely you're learning a new way to spend money. Um, so yeah, whether it's supplements, because you're going to need supplements, you're going to need certain shakes, you're going to need certain vitamins, because you are treating your body differently. You need to work from the inside out. You know, yeah, you're doing the workouts and eating right, and giving yourself the proper nutrition, but you're definitely working for the inside out, and that takes an investment. So understand that it's never so much that you don't have the money, it's how you are spending your money. You are definitely spending your money differently. And hey, so yeah, within weight loss, just understand that people are going to treat you different. You have to work on your mindset. Your money will be spent a little. I'm well, thank you. Thank you. You're definitely going to be spending your money differently than when you were prior to losing weight. So understand that things are going to shift and change, but you're not crazy because you fall off, because you fell back. You're learning new ways that'll work for you, and things are constantly changing. We live in a microwave society where we think things are going to happen like that, you know. And I understand a lot of people, we lose focus. We have such a short attention span where if things aren't working a certain way in a certain time, that we tend to let it go out of our heads. This is why I so much like promote having a coach. Yes, I'm a weight loss coach, and you can get in touch with me if you're looking for weight loss coaching. But it's so important because having that person next to you to reassure you that you are on the right path, to help keep you on the right path, to help keep you encouraged is so important. That personal touch is so important. It was for me, and I know it can be for a lot of people because when you're in the salon, it's so easy to let it fly. It's so easy to let days go by without you really staying on top of whatever it is you are working for. But when you have that person next to you to keep you in line, it just gives you that reassurance. It gives you that love to know that you are not alone. You're not going crazy. Things are not always going to be easy, but you can get it done, okay? So I hope that this helped. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share if this has helped you. And I'll